Hi everyone and welcome to Sit Happens Dog Training. My name's Matt, this is Neil. We should be waking him up in a minute. This is your guide to your first week with your puppy. So our first few ground rules. Don't bring your puppy in the house when you first got it. I know it's so exciting, I get it. We were so excited to have Neil. Don't bring them in and just give them free reign of the entire house to go anywhere they want without watching them and paying attention, okay? If you went to a new company, as a new employee, you don't have the same freedoms as the managing director. You have to earn those freedoms. It's the same thing with a pup, okay? Don't come in and just let them have all the same freedoms as your other dogs, or if you don't have a dog, just give them free reign. So here's what you need to do. You need to set up a schedule. Your puppy needs to either be in the crate, we'll come back to this in a second, or you're watching them, completely watching them, not like this on your phone and they're there, that's not good enough, watching them the whole time, okay? Or you're outside with them, or you're playing or training. So all that said, here's the schedule I suggest. Every time you start your morning, okay? Probably would be a bit early with a puppy from now on. You start your morning, take them straight out for wheeze and or poos. When you first bring your puppy home, first thing you want to do is take them straight outside to the area you want them to start weeing and pooing. Then, if they do or they don't, after a few minutes, bring them in. If they do wee or poo outside, big praise. You don't need to give too many treats for weeing or pooing outside, okay? Just fuss. Give it straight away. Don't let them finish and come over to you. Give it straight away. Give the affection straight away. So you've took him outside. He's done a wee and a poo. Or he hasn't. You brought him back in. You're still watching him. You're training him a little tiny bit. A few treats. Then you're either back outside, or you're playing with him, or he's in his crate, or you're feeding him. You don't want to just give them free reign, like I keep saying. So take them out after every playtime, after every nap, after every drink of water, after every meal, after every little training session. You're going to be taking them out a lot. Give them the most opportunity to do wheeze and poos inside. Okay, so the perfect time for training, little and often with a puppy, only a couple of minutes here and there, is around feeding times. Now you can do it more than feeding times. Feeding times will be 3 or 4 times per day for your pup, right? But before you feed them, take a handful of their food and do training. Now the initial training, I will show you in a few minutes, okay, what you want to do and how you start progressing it. But we're going to do the simplest stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to teach them their name. So we're going to say their name and give them a treat. We're going to say their name and give them a treat. That's it, okay? And we're going to start getting them to just follow our hand a little bit, because you want them to start getting used to following hand signals. Dogs, even though they 100% learn commands, they can learn hundreds of them. They respond really well to physical cues, because that's how they work, through body language, okay? So if you attach a physical cue to a command, you can talk to your dog out in a really busy place. And it doesn't matter if they hear you or not, because they can see you, okay? Also, it makes it easier for them to learn. So we'll go over a couple of those basics for today. The first week, you want to take your time. All you want to be doing for training for at least the first few days, the first week with your puppy is this. Simply say their name and give them the treat. They don't have to do anything at the beginning, not even look at you at the beginning. They'll start looking soon. If every time I said your name, I gave you £20, you're not going to have to, I'm not going to have to teach you to pay attention to me, right? I say your name, you're going to be looking straight over for me. So, Neil. Yeah. Neil. Neil. Hey buddy, come here. Neil. And you can just move around a little bit, just so it's not really stagnant. Neil. Neil. And with this, with the very first, especially few days to a week, don't try testing their name too soon. So don't wait for them to be busy smelling something and then call their name. Just say it and give them a treat, okay? This isn't a test. This isn't whether they know their name or not yet. Just say it and give a treat. What you also want to do is luring, which is this. Now, Neil already knows his name, so I can call him out. Neil, come here, buddy. Yes. So you get the treat in your hand, and you just get them used to, there we go. Yeah, yeah, just following. You can also start, I mean, he's done it for me there because he knows sit, start guiding them into positions, but don't say any commands yet. So, come on then, yeah. So you can guide them around. Oh, yeah, yeah, good lad, and give encouragement too. And just give a treat randomly. Just keep them working for it. Come on, buddy. Good lad. Yes. So we're going to guide them into the sit. Neil is currently learning paw, as you can probably tell. And don't worry about this one, but you can try guiding them into the down. Some puppies won't do it, but the principle is just get the treat and start guiding them around. That's all you want to do. There's no magicness to it. Magicness, is that a word? I'm going to stick with it. There's no magic thing to it. It's just getting them used to following your hand. And if they offer things like that, if they offer a down or they offer a sit, that's great. Yes. And then you could go back to kneel. Kneel. And that's it. That's all your training is going to consist of. And probably only for this long. Then you're going to go into playtime. Don't think I need to teach you that, but all you're going to do, toy, play, around 5 or 10 minutes, okay? Then you're going to take them back outside again. If they do a wee or a poo, loads of fuss, hey buddy. If they don't, bring them back in, keep your eye on them or in the crate. Now, onto the crate. So you want to make the crate the best place. Now remember, your puppy's not going to like it at first. That's absolutely fine and normal. It's a process you got to push through. Here's how you make it the best possible thing. Everything good happens in the crate. Feeding happens in the crate. Now as you can see, the crate's small. Food bowl still goes in, he goes in. You don't have to shut him in, but feeding happens in the crate. Chew toys, little bones. You go in there to settle down, buddy. Okay. Little bones happen in the crate. Nap times generally happen in the crate, okay? Everything good happens in the crate. Here's what doesn't happen in the crate. You acknowledging them crying at all, okay? Now, if they get in a real frenzy, sometimes you need to just come and go, okay? And that little sound will make them go, oh, what's that? And it can break them out of it just a second. It doesn't need to shut them up, it just needs, if they start screaming and howling like to a point and chewing things and really getting stressed, you can do that. But other than that, then you're going back to completely ignoring them, okay? This is the best place, not the worst place. It never gets used for a punishment. It never gets used because you're sick and tired of them or anything. They get taken here as well. Every time, I'm gonna say this really clearly now, every time they're taken to the crate, after you've already tired them out a little bit, after you've played, after you've done some training, or if they're already sleepy like this boy is, because we've done training and playing today as well, okay? So when they're already tired, don't, please, don't get a puppy and then just put them in the crate randomly at different times and go in and out because you think that's what you're supposed to do to get them used to it. Because if they're full of energy, that's just going to fuel their screaming and crying. And every time you appear back in from another door, that's reinforcing screaming gets you in, okay? So when you first put them in, here's your checklist. Either they've weed or pooed, or you only put them in for a short period of time before you're taking them back out for a wee or poo. You've done a bit of training. You've tired them out with play, then you've settled down for a little bit, which is simple as, you can have them over on your lap, that's fine for this, and just having a couple of minutes of just gentle, good lad. And like kids, puppies get irritable. He's just the same usually, right? They have a little, and a little gentle mouth of your hands and stuff, and he's not too interested in settling, it feels like. Stick with it. Just keep calm and gentle. Don't have this type of fuss too much. Calm and gentle voice, okay? And then when they start settling, we can put them in. Come on, buddy. Oh, I know. Oh. In you go. Good lad. Now, when you first put them in, they won't be like this. Good lad. This is what you want. You want to be able to put them in and just shut the door and then be settled and calm and you be able to go and do your thing. The way you build this up, when we first put him in, he screamed and cried, okay? And we'd still done all the right things. We'd still tied him out. We'd already trained him. We'd taken him out for wheeze and so on. And he was just unhappy because he's leaving the pack and it's not natural for dogs to do. And puppies can't understand that the pack doesn't go absolutely everywhere together. The pack could be just you and the dog. The pack could be your whole family and the dog and so on, right? They can't understand that there's times that they should be left alone. So they scream and cry. If you do anything, let's imagine you're screaming and crying for a second and I go, like a little, you've acknowledged it. You can't acknowledge it at all. So you could sit over there and just wait. When it calms and settles down, good boy, good lad, again, nice and calm. Starts whining again, wait. Just literally our first few days with him, okay? Remember, I'm gonna say it again, and I repeat myself a lot, but I'm not gonna edit it out. Hopefully you've heard it about 3 or 4 times now in the last few minutes. Tire them out first, do some training, mental tirement, do some physical tiring out, playing, and then settle down for a little bit, and then put them in and shut the crate. Now, When you first put them in, just put them in and shut the crate. Don't put them in and be like, wait there, darling. Don't speak to them. Don't make a big deal out of it. Put them in, shut the crate, step away. Stay in the same room at first and just ignore. When they're calm and quiet, we can open the crate and let them back out. Now, when you go and open the crate, you won't open it if there's pawing and clawing or crying. You'll wait. You won't go near the crate either. When they're calm and quiet, you'll go over. As you start to open the crate, if they start to try and come out, just shut it back on them. I know Neil's being perfect now. You can probably barely see him because he's jet black on a black floor. Which takes me on to, before I carry on with the door, don't put bedding down until you can trust that they're not going to wee on it all the time, okay? It feels mean, I know. But a lot of dogs are really, really happy. They want to sleep on a harder floor. It's cool, especially with everyone's got the heating on at this time of year. So, no blanket on the first. Dogs are much more likely to pee on soft bedding than they are on a hard floor. Also on that, the crate. As you can see, Neil's curled up a little bit here, or you might not be able to see. Neil's curled up a little bit here. This is what you want. You want the crate to be a little bit bigger than the dog. So you want the dog to be able to stand up, to be able to turn around, and to be able to stretch out a little bit. And that's it, okay? This crate's really, really big. It's going to encourage them to go and pee over in the corner over there, and then come back here. Right then, final bit, how we get them out. We open the crate. If they stay calm, we encourage out. If you start to open slowly, if they start to come straight out, shut it straight back on them. It's not mean, it's not nasty. You're not slamming it on them. Just shut it straight back on them. You can have a little ah if you want, a little no, that's fine. But don't talk to them other than that. Don't say anything. Don't say, wait there now, darling, because your voice is saying good dog. Slowly open the crate. When it's open and they're waiting, then you can encourage them out. I'm not even going to bother with Neil right now because he's having a happy little time there sleeping, aren't you, buddy? Yeah. Okay, so that's all you want to be doing for your first week with a puppy. At night time, final point, you might have to get up a few times throughout the night and give them an opportunity to take them out and do a wee or a poo, okay? Other than that, that's it. Really quick recap. When you bring them home, don't give them all the freedoms of your other dogs if you have them, or a dog that you'd imagine as a fully grown adult. Remember, if you started a new job, you don't have the freedoms and the liberties of the managing director if you're lower down. Don't give the dog the same thing. Don't give them free rein. Keep your eye on them all the time, or they're in the crate, or you're outside with them, but you're gonna have an eye on them anyway, okay? Stand outside with them, don't just put them outside on their own. Any peeing or pooing outside, good reward. Good boy, good lad. Bit of high energy, bit of fun. If you catch them peeing inside, if you catch them in the act, you can have a little ah, and that's enough to stop most dogs, or a little clap your hands too, that's enough to stop, and take them out. If they've already done it, pointless, just clean it up, don't do anything, okay? Don't rub their nose in or any of that old stuff. Training wise, get them used to following your hand by having treats in your hand. Capitalize on training by doing it before feeding times. When you know they're hungry, take some handful of their food out and use that. Lure them around, guide them into a few positions, and if they don't go in them, that's okay. Just get them used to following your hand. Also, kneel, give them the treat. Kneel, give them the treat, okay? Say their name, give them the treat. Build value on their name. That's all you want to be doing in the first week. Another important note, please don't forget, calmness is king. When you're playing with your pup, and you're throwing toys and you're ragging them around and having fun, go mental, that's fine, because that's what we're doing. We're burning off the energy in a fun bond between us, and it's high energy and it's play. Play is always fun. High energy, perfect. Everything else, keep things calm. When dogs get high energy and excitement and it gets them a reaction, especially if it gets some high energy excitement reaction from you, that just fuels all the wrong behaviors, okay? Think about it, if you're watching this now and you have a child, when do they listen to you? When they're tired, not cranky tired, but relaxed, calm, or when they're full of energy and just running around like nutters? We know the answer, right? It's when they're calm. You've got to drain the dog's energy. You've got to teach them to settle down, which we went over before. And then you've also got to remember that dogs are literally this. Dogs are a mirror. They reflect your energy. If you're coming in, every time you come in, you're going, oh my God, puppy, hi! You're gonna have chaos, okay? Teach them to greet calmly, just like we have to do. Doesn't mean you don't have lots of little fun exercises with them. And when you are doing training, when you are getting them to follow your hand and or playing, like I've said, yeah, make it fun, make it a little bit high energy, because you want that engagement, and that's great. That teaching them to work for you and it's fun to work, that's fantastic. But other than that, everything else, try to keep things cool and calm. Make things really clear. So from me and from Neil, hey buddy, we'll say bye, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks for another update on how he's doing and how you can start progressing with your pups.